Thanks, Laura.
Well, Premier Gladys Berejiklian will meet with the mayors from Sydney's 12 LGAs of concern today after declining an online meeting last month. They will discuss a range of topics, of course, including the easing of restrictions. But we want to focus on areas such as Burwood, who only has 69 active COVID cases. Joining me live now is the Mayor of Burwood, John Faker. Thanks so much for your time, Mayor. What will you be telling and asking of Gladys Berejiklian today?
Well, Laura, I'll be echoing the concerns that many of my residents have been speaking to me on a daily basis about. And I'll be telling her about the impacts of lockdowns and the impacts they're having on people in my community, the impacts on jobs, local businesses, people's mental health. What we need to be focusing on and what the Premier needs to be doing is giving people hope for the future and rewarding areas like Burwood, which have low COVID cases and high vaccination rates.
Well, we're all getting rewarded together, and that's at 70% full vaccination. So what are you talking about? Are you talking about Burwood coming out of curfew, not being declared as an LGA of concern?
Well, exactly, Laura. There's absolutely no reason why Burwood should remain a hotspot area, considering we only have 69 active cases. So I'll be pleading to the Premier today for her government to take us off that list. We've got adjoining councils that have nearly 400 cases and are not on the hotspot area list. So we need to...
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt you there, John. When you talk about curfews as well, do you think there's now really a flimsy health reason to have them in place?
Well, it absolutely makes no sense that you have an area such as ours, that's a hotspot area that has low COVID cases but high vaccination rates. For example, let me ask you this: why is it that we can go for a picnic for 2 hours, and if you're outside a hotspot area, you can go for a picnic for 3 hours? So is it safe or not to go for a picnic? So it makes no sense. These rules are ridiculous. It's upsetting and frustrating to our residents who are doing the right thing, who have stepped up and gotten vaccinated. We've got nearly 80% of my community now that have had their first vaccination, which are, among the highest rates in the country, so for vaccination rates. So it makes no sense. And I'm pleading on the Premier to take us off the hotspot list and reward communities like Burwood that have done the right thing, that have been complying with the COVID restrictions and that are lifting those vaccination rates.
Right, so you want them, essentially, Burwood, to be in line with those areas outside of those 12 hotspot LGAs, so people that are fully vaccinated can have a picnic with 5.
Well, exactly, Laura, because, it's starting to become very frustrating for residents. They're starting to feel as if they're being discriminated against. We're not against people, for example, in the eastern suburbs going to the beach or enjoying a picnic. We just want to be treated fairly. We want the same freedoms that they're getting in other areas, considering we have those low COVID rates and that we have very high vaccination rates. So the Premier needs to give people hope, give communities hope, and reward communities that are doing the right thing.
Do you accept that when we do get to 70%, and the Premier has said that once we do collectively, all together, we will have these freedoms that she's talked about, but if there are suburbs with really high case numbers and you see infections grow, do you accept that some suburbs that might be your own will need to go into a lockdown?
Well, there's no reason why we should be going into a lockdown, considering the health advice has always been about increasing vaccination rates. So my community has stepped up. We've got nearly 80% of our residents that are now had their first vaccination, nearly 40% that are fully vaccinated. There is no logical reason why my residents can't be going out and enjoying picnics like they are across Sydney outside hotspot areas. So it makes absolutely no sense. And Laura, can I just add, these are the rules that are building resentment. And these rules are really unfair for communities that are doing the right thing. So the Premier needs, I reiterate, the Premier needs to give people confidence, to show that the government has a plan and reward communities that are continually showing that they're doing the right thing.
All right, we'll see how the meeting ends up. John Faker, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Laura. Good to speak to you again.
The Burwood Mayor meeting with Gladys Berejiklian in about 15 minutes' time.